What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So today, we're going to be talking about how Plague Star is coming back on September 8th on all platforms. And we'll be talking about how you can prepare for Plague Star, some things to look out, because Plague Star, the event, has not been here for about 2 years. So, yeah, we'll have a full guide out on how it currently is when it comes out on September 8th. But for right now, if you really want to prepare, we'll show you what to do. And you can also watch my old video from about 2 years ago, the last time Plague Star was here, if you really want to see how the gameplay is and all that. Because, you know, I don't have 2-year-old gameplay just sitting around. I do have a 2-year-old guide video on how to do Plague Star, though. And we'll talk about things you should be looking out for in 2021, since that's the version of Plague Star we're going to be having going on here. All right, so here's the information. So September 8th on all platforms, we're going to get Plague Star, which will have the Ghoul Saw as one of the rewards. There's also going to be a bunch of other stuff like Revenant, Deluxe Skin, Hollow Key Changes, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff that is not as important as Plague Star. And the reason that Plague Star is important is because you can get fully built Forma really quickly. It's like basically, usually fully built Forma takes like 24 hours to craft it. And you can get the blueprint to pop up from a mission. So you can basically skip that build time, and in like about 10-ish minutes, you can get a fully built Forma over and over and over again. So that's why you want to do Plague Star. So there's certain things, I really suggest watching the video from 2 years ago because it will probably be very similar to that. But here's what you want to do. To get prepared for Plague Star, you're going to need these Eidolon Phylaxis and these Infested Catalysts. Go to your clan dojo, make sure you're in a clan, and get these Infested Catalyst and Eidolon Phylaxis. Now, the way you can prepare for this is actually build a bunch of these in advance. Look, I have almost 200 of both of them. You're going to want to use these to make the mission give you more reputation. It will spawn more bosses and let you get more reputation. If you do 4 of each of these for the mission, you'll get a fully built Forma basically guaranteed. Unless they change the prices, that's what I'm saying. A lot of this stuff is subject to change, guys, because we don't know how they're actually going to be updating it, if they do update it at all, with Lefantis, because you're fighting Lefantis on the plains. So what I'd recommend to you, go and farm the resources for this stuff. You probably already have a bunch of Plastids, Ferrite, and Nanospores for the Infested Catalyst. But here's what you might be bottlenecked on. Iridite, Grok Drool, and Nisselpod. All 3 of these resources, they come from the Plains of Eidolon open world area. Go around, fly around the water, fly around the bases. The Grok Drool's usually around the bases. Iridite is just in the formations and like random spots. And Nisselpod is also like, it's on these like little mini like tree things. Usually by water, I want to say. But you have to collect all this stuff. It's a lot. You might get run out of Iridite or Nisselpod or something like that. And to build these. So you want to build both of these, get a bunch of them stacked up. That's what your best bet is for getting prepared. And as far as builds, I think Nova will still be the master. And the nice thing, here's one of the things that's been changed since Plague Star was back here in 2019. We actually have Helminth now. So this is very similar to my old Nova build from 2 years ago. If you watch the video, I'll link in the description. But now that we have Helminth, Nova with Resonator will be very, very easy because it makes enemies not attack you. You're basically fighting Infest on the plains. The Infests are going to run around after your Resonator Ball, and you're going to speed up the boss with the 4th ability. So, yeah. As well as you want a weapon to fight the Hemocyte with. You want actually weapons with high projectile count, and you want to go for Corrosive. You want to actually remove the enemy's armor entirely with Shattering Impact, either on the Sarpa, the Vastalok, whatever you end up using. You can even use Ash's Seeking Shuriken Augment to fully remove the enemy's armor. And you want to use a high pellet count, preferably full auto weapon, with Corrosive and Slash preferably, because the health type you're actually going to be fighting against is going to be the Infested Sinew, I believe it's called. It's very similar to Lefantis, but keep in mind that the Hemocyte actually has armor. So you want to make sure you remove the enemy armor before you start shooting it with your Corrosive and Blast. So right there, as you can see right there, Corrosive's the best, Blast is second best, and Slash is third best. So ideally, you'd get Corrosive, Blast, and Slash, but honestly, just going for Corrosive is totally fine. So high pellet count weapons, we're talking like the Bubu Nico. I really think it might be a top tier weapon for this, but there's also the Kuva Brock, there's the Pyrana Prime. You know, people like the Synapse a lot, so something like this is probably going to be running. Keep in mind that, you know, you could there's a problem. For the normal Bubu Nico build, you want to run Galvanized Savvy. Galvanized Savvy, Condition Overload, that does not work on the Hemocyte boss. You might want to reconsider and maybe just like temporarily form your Bubu Nico differently without the D-polarity, which you normally would run for this mod, which is very good in the Bubu Nico, because this will be a useless mod against the boss itself. So basically, Corrosive crit. The nice thing about the Bubu Nico is you can use the primary fire to kill the boss and the secondary fire, which is AoE, to kill the ads. Because killing ads will spawn the boss. And, you know, so on and so forth. So that's pretty good. Secondary, like I said, there's plenty of options. A new one that you might be interested in is potentially the Tenant Detron with a toxin roll. It's a shotgun with lots of pellets. I'd probably say go for a toxin roll so you can just get big corrosive damage. Use the alt fire, blow away that face. You could also technically use the Catabalist. I think that might be potentially okay. But it has a lot of downtime as the reload is manual on this thing, so maybe not as good. It's also very status focused. You want crit, basically. You don't really want status for this. Other frames that'll be really good that you can maybe get prepared. Wisp, Loki for switch teleport and the drone. I think Nova's still better than him by a lot, but it's up to you, honestly. Other frames, like, you really have lots of choices. People like Titania a lot with her Dex Pixia shooting the boss. Here's another thing that's been introduced since the last time Plaguestar was here, and you might find interesting and potentially make your runs even more optimized and fast. We've got Helminth Invigorations. So as you can see right here, there's certain frames and certain buffs you can actually override to put it on your current frame you'd be speedrunning Plaguestar with. Keep in mind, Plaguestar will be around here for like 20 days, I think it is, starting on the 8th. So these last for a week, so you'll have plenty of time to use different invigorations. But look at this one, for example, right here. Secondary damage. 250% secondary damage. That would be great for the Piranha Prime, if you're using the Piranha Prime. Also, energy rate lets you cast your abilities more freely. Maybe I'd override that one. Now, I'd probably go for crit chance over damage, but, it's not like this would be a bad thing. Necros will probably be on one of my squads I'm trying to run here as well, just to get more loot, because the enemies will drop Hunter Munitions, Hunter Adrenaline. You can sell that stuff for Platinum, and Necros being there gives you more loot, and technically more Platinum. Here's another one. Increased ability strength. Maybe I should infuse this one on my Wisp. Make my Wisp motes give me more speed. Make my Wisp motes give me more health, more fire rate. Maybe even if I infused Roar on Wisp, it'd give me even more damage from my teammates. Or since we're running corrosive damage, you could even consider running Nourish from Grendel to give you increased toxin damage on your weapons, which would combine with the electric mod you have on there to give you even further increased corrosive damage. But realistically, the things you're looking for are really multi-shot, fire rate, and corrosive damage, technically. Roar and all that kind of stuff, just icing on the cake, really. You want to basically speed the boss up to run out of the boil at max speed. Energized munitions actually might be really good, too. Giving you ammo efficiency, so you can actually spam your shots for longer. This might be a really, really good Helminth option. So we'll have a full min-max video on that. If you guys have been watching the recent live streams on Twitch, you've seen I've been theory crafting a lot about this, so you might already know a bunch of the strats that we'll be going for. But if you don't watch the live streams, which you should, by the way, I stream like 2 or 3 times a week usually on Twitch, we'll have a full video guide on it, like I said. So that's what you should prepare for. Basically get prepared, build your Infested Catalyst, build your Island Phylaxis, farm the resources if you haven't already. A nice little tip is that the higher tier version of Plains of Eidolon that you actually spawn in on, the more of each resource you'll get. So if you go on like the low level, like base version bounty, you get like 2 Iridite or whatever from those formations. If you go for like the Steel Path one or the highest level bounty one, you can reliably get like 10. So that's with a booster, of course. So here's what I'm talking about. Like, let's just go look around for some Iridite real quick. Now, Nova's going to be really, really good for the Plaguestar with these max range portals. So here's some Iridite right here. You break this, pick it up, 10 reliably with the booster. Now getting Nisselpod might be a little bit more unreliable. I think that's Marpico. You don't really need Marpico. You're looking for Nisselpod. That's going to be one that I'm not really used to farming as much. But Grok Jewel definitely spawns in your bases. You can even open these vault things. They'll sometimes have resources in there as well. But for me personally, I'm more bottlenecked on Iridite than anything else. So teleport around, break that Grok Jewel thing right there. There's usually a lot of Grok Jewel in those bases, like I've said twice at least already. And yeah, you get your resources. So guys, hope you found this video helpful. Like I said, full video guides. It's going to be a lot. Like, we're going to farm it a lot. 22 days of Forma. I'm at the. Unfortunately, I work full time now, so I'm not gonna be able to farm it as much as I used to. But we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna get some Forma. Those Kuvo Lich weapons take 5 Forma each. Those Tenant weapons take 5 Forma each. Necromechs take 5 Forma each, hilariously. And we'll be getting Nidus Prime coming out here pretty soon as well. His weapons. I probably won't really go hard on the weapons because they seem pretty generic and useless. But Nidus Prime himself, he'll probably have at least an Umber Forma or 2. So yeah. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. I'll see you next time and take it easy. Peace.